fame. His bank account is as rich as his name. That's Rich, Richie Rich.
The Richie Rich Show.
Steven's trying to do a pull through and tear somebody's shit all up. Look at that. Come on now, Stevens. You're going to tear that dude's front end right off. Don't make no damn sense. Come on, Stevens. And round 2 for Stevens. Look at him trying to back into that space. Oh, Lord. Come on now, bud. Come on. I think he's going to do it this time. Okay. All right. He's looking better. Hey, what's up, everybody? What's going on? Trucker Richie Rich on this evening tip. 1s and 2s we're going to talk about today. We're going to have a conversation. I hope everybody's doing well. Boy, almost got into another prime driver. I don't know what's going on with me lately, but I think I'm starting to understand the old truckers who've been out here for a long time, how they fuss at everybody. And I'm starting to get that little edge, you know? I think it's time for me to really take a break from trucking, because I find out that a lot of my pet peeves out here are starting to become public. You know what I mean? I can't keep it to myself. Let me tell you what happened. And anyway, this video I'm going to make, I'm going to talk about A-Fleet a little bit, and I'm going to respond to a couple of questions I had in my last video. But I got to tell you about this time I almost got into another fight with a prime driver the other day. I don't know what's wrong with me, man. I think I'm an old guy, and I just, you know, I'm starting to get that grandpa feel, you know, get off my damn lawn, you young boys. Because I almost got into a fight again with another prime driver. It wasn't over the trailer. It was basically, what happened was, I'm picking up in Allentown, and it's the middle of the night. I'm picking up the U.S. Cold Storage in Allentown, and the facility is closed, and they have it gated in, and it's in a industrial park. So about 2 in the morning, I pulled to this facility, and I realized the gate's closed. So I put my 4-ways on, and I'm honking my horn lightly, and I'm backing up. This prime driver sees me doing that, and what he does is he pulls in behind me directly to block me from moving. You know, my pet peeve out here in trucking, one of my pet peeves is when you're trying to maneuver in the truck parking lot or anywhere, truck drivers don't give you the space and the time to maneuver. Even though you're honking your horn, even though you have your 4-ways flashing, they like to rush you and pull up on you. And before you know it, it's 2 or 3 trucks that are stuck because they don't want to be patient. You know, it's been a long time that I used to see truck drivers helping other truckers. You know, it's been a while since I've seen truckers helping somebody back into a space, you know, or block off traffic or anything. It's been a while since I've seen that with my eyes. I can't remember the last time I did. And this particular prime driver, as I was backing out the gate, he saw me backing out the gate. I see that he saw me backing out the gate, but he still proceeded to pull forward and block me in. Finally, I gave him a long horn, and he finally got the picture, and he started backing out too. Okay. Then he turns around in the parking lot adjacent to the cold storage facility, and by that time, I'm maneuvering my truck into a parking space outside the gate. He pulls up next to me. He stares at me, rolls his window down, stares at me. And it was a stare of disrespect. Then he turns around down the street and he parks. I don't know why I got out my truck. I don't know. I think I was just agitated. You know, I was up for like 20 hours that day. And I just was, you know, I hate disrespect. And you know, one thing that I know that truckers get a lot of is disrespect out here on the road. we are very disrespected by the motoring public, by shippers, receivers, by dispatch, and by other truckers. Very disrespected. And I'm coming from a place where I was well respected to being disrespected, and it's still taking me some time to adjust to that. And so what I did is I got out my truck and I walked up on him. I did. Richie Rich was about to smoke, man. I wanted to smoke. I was hot. And I asked the guy, I said, Blood, what's your problem? What's up? I mean, you staring at me like that. I'm old school. You stare at a dude like that, it means you want some you want smoke. And so he jumped out his truck. And I guess he figured like I was going to be scared or something, man. I said, what's up? Oh, no, man, I'm going to go to bed. And he started backing up. And I said, bro, I see what type of time you're on, okay? You about to find out what type of time I'm on, okay? Don't let this smile and good looks fool you, But to tell you the truth, man, I was wrong. I just been agitated lately with trucking. And I think that it's starting to show a little bit. And I probably need a vacation. I probably need to go to the DR or fucking Puerto Rico or Bahamas or something and take some time from trucking. But it's been such stress in these last few months that it's starting to show. Okay. But I was finna getting up in the ass. But it just, he got back in his truck. I said, oh, so you gonna go watch a movie and lay down? You gonna go night? I said, listen, Blood, if you wanted me to help you, I'd have helped you. You know what I'm saying? But disrespect is won't do. And he got back in his truck and he shot off, and that's the last I saw of that. But stayed in my mind with me for the last couple of days. I'm like, I've been real agitated lately. And I think that's what the ultimate picture is for me. And I think I need to really step away from trucking for a little bit, or I need to take a vacation. But it's just been so hard. I ain't gonna lie to you. Money's been tight. It has. It has not been what I really want it to be. And that brings me to our next subject. In the comment section, I had a few comments of guys asking me about other YouTubers on YouTube, other Prime drivers or people who work for Prime on YouTube. And one of the comments that stood out to me was, guy asked me two questions. He says, Peruvian trucker says his bills are like $10,000 a month. How is he able to maintain that and work for Prime? And then the other part of the question was, Trucker B said he pulled in $3,000 last week. How is that possible? What's going on? And he asked me to explain it. And normally I don't comment on other truckers' videos because I don't want, I don't want to start smoke. But I'm an honest guy, and I'm gonna tell you what it really is. YouTube and trucking is it's a little misleading sometimes. A lot of people follow YouTube truckers like players on NFL and NBA teams. I got a new job today. Oh, that's great. I got a new team today. I'm glad you guys are cheerleaders, and I'm glad you guys are supporting people. This lady keep doing some weird shit next to me. I'll talk about it in a minute. But as I was saying, Peruvian trucker, for what I can kind of see and ascertain, I believe he was a trainer at Prime. I believe he is. And at one point at Prime, trainers were making a lot of money. Okay. It was very normal for a trainer on TNT at Prime to make $6,000 to $7,000 a week. Okay. So what do you do? 7,000 times 4. Well, what is that? 28. But shit, my math is bad. Oh crap. Was that 7? Was that 14? 28,000 bucks a month cash net? Yeah. There was guys who were doing that. I remember sitting at the safety meeting one time when the owner of the company, he used to really hang out at the terminal a lot. And I remember sitting for a safety meeting one time, and throughout the whole meeting, the only thing that really stuck to me is what he said. And he was like, I have made a lot of truck drivers millionaires. And you know what? He's probably right. I think trucking, at Prime did really, really, really well during the Obama administration and during the Trump administration. Unfortunately, Joe Biden administration really screwed truck drivers out here because a lot of people are not making a lot of money. And I'm going to touch on that later on in the video. But Peruvian trucker possibly, he probably did make $28,000 a month. Probably did. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't believe that's possible now. Now, things are kind of seeming like they're kind of mellowing out a little bit, but we're still in a struggling truck market. A lot of guys who were TNT trainers on the lease side of Prime, they stopped training because the money wasn't adding up. Okay. You had a lot of guys, they used to gross weekly $14,000 to $15,000 a week. Yes. And, each, Peruvian trucker and student probably ran 6,000 miles a week. It's very common. There was a lot of money to be made. And this is why I said I wish I would have got with Prime years ago. I probably wouldn't be driving truck today. I'd probably be a millionaire somewhere. Okay. There was a lot of money to be made here at Prime. There was. Now, not so much the case. People are finding it hard to gross $5,000 a week here. Okay. Now, I know I'm going to get some comments in here. Of some guy saying, well, Rich, I gross $5,000 a week all the time. Well, it's not like it used to be. Okay. It's far from it. A lot of times, even me on the A fleet, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit, my gross has been very, very bad. I mean, sometimes I'm grossing $3,500 a week. This week, last week I grossed $6,500, which was a miracle. This week, I think I'm on course to gross maybe $4,200. Okay, that's my gross. That's not really where I want to be. Okay. Now, as far as Trucker B, I'm sure that he did make $3,000 a week. I'm sure he did. If he grossed $6,000, I'm sure, the general rule of thumb in leasing is you bring home about 50% of your income. If you're really good, you try to bring home 54% if you do really good in fuel. But general rule of thumb is if you gross $6,000 for that week, you're bringing home probably $3,000. Okay, depending on your fuel variation. So it is very possible. And, for him to say he has $10,000 worth of bills, he might have. I mean, I don't know. I just know that a lot of people have to, like right now, because the market's so bad, a lot of drivers lost a lot of stuff. I'm talking houses been foreclosed on, vehicles being repossessed, credit card bills went unpaid. Okay. But like I said, I don't know his particular situation. He might be still doing good or not. But it was very possible to make great money here at Prime. Now it's kind of in the phase, you know what I mean? We're still waiting this water out. But that brings me to my next subject. Is what I want to talk about. The A fleet. The logistics side of Prime. I had another question from a subscriber asked me to explain that. They wanted to know more about that. And I'm going to tell you what I think it is, and I'm going to tell you what it really is, okay? Or what I thought it was. The A side of Prime basically is the truck is not with Prime, which I really like that part. The truck is mine. I'm not with Prime with the truck. So Prime does not have any control of my truck, which I like that a lot. The reason I like that is, I don't have to worry about those bells and whistles. I don't have to worry about the governor. I can govern whatever I wanted to. I can idle if I need to. If I decide to go pull for another carrier, I can go pull for another carrier. Okay. The truck is belonging to me. Now, what I like about it is, Prime drivers on the lease side and the company side, if they get a critical event, it stacks up against them. Okay. If you get enough critical events, you're fired. Me, nobody worry about my critical events. I had one the other day. I was driving down 81, Interstate 81 in Pennsylvania, and a truck driver cut in front of me and slammed on his brakes. I think he was having some sort of emergency or something, because after he did that, he pulled off to the shoulder. But it caused my truck to slam on the brakes. And that would have been a critical incident. If that would have happened when I was with Prime, my fleet manager would have called me immediately and asked me to tell him what happened. And depending on how many times that might have happened in my time with him, I could have been fired or disciplined. Okay, but on the A fleet, that doesn't happen. Also on the A fleet, there's a rumor saying that you can pick your own loads and stuff, and that's not true. I got a fleet manager just like the regular Prime drivers do, and he dispatches my loads. I can tell him, yes, I'll take a load, and no, I won't take a load, but the same rules apply for me as they apply for you Prime drivers. You know, if I turn down too many loads, I'm sure that's frowned upon. Okay, and they can cancel my contract anytime they want to. Now, that's what A fleet is. Now, this is my thoughts of A fleet. My thoughts is, it's not really what I wanted it to be. Okay, if you Prime drivers who are on the lease side look at your settlements, probably the third attachment down, you'll see like a white paper that tells you your load costs, what the loads actually cost that you picked up. Prime takes 28% of all your loads, okay? But they show you what the actual price of the load is so you can do your math yourself. They show you all the bills and everything. They're very honest, which I like a lot. That's what makes Prime a great company. But for me, on the logistics side, I don't see that. I actually get an actual rate con, okay? It's not the white papers you guys get. But the only thing on the rate con is that they don't show what they get. I don't see Prime's 20% or whatever they take. And I know they take something. It just sends me a rate con with the load is, some paragraph, and I have to sign it and send it back to them. Okay. Usually on the lease side, if you guys gross $6,000, in actuality, you probably really gross $7,500. But because Prime takes 28% of your revenue, you lose that. Okay. So my thoughts being on the A side was I won't lose that. And when I first started driving on the A side, I was seeing weekly checks for $7,600. See, I wanted to be close to $10,000 as possible by myself without a student. And I was seeing it for a little bit. I was. Then, like you guys know, the bottom fell out. Fuel prices got up to about $8.65 in California. And we just went on a funhouse ride for the last few months. And now I'm seeing gross revenues about $4,200, maybe $4,000, maybe less per week. And I know some of you guys are like, well, Rich, why are you still pulling with Prime? Why don't you just go somewhere else? The problem is dry van rates are not any better. I was looking at a company that offered me to go pull their freight. And I was looking at their load board, right? And they have load board access to all the load boards. And I was seeing $1.30, $1.20, $1.10. You know, I was seeing really low revenues. You know, no fuel surcharge in some loads and some fuel surcharge low. And the truth is, reefer out here is one of the freight that pays the better. Okay. Right now in this market, it's so terrible that a lot of these guys out here, these owner ops, are pulling freight for like $1 a mile or less. And the reason I say $1 a mile or less, because a lot of them are hooked up with these logistic companies that take percentages off that. So can you imagine working for, let's say, JBS or, JB Hunt or Schneider, you know what I mean? And you're losing 30% of your gross, you know, off $1.15 a mile. I mean, that's horrible. So guys are really, really suffering right now. Prime is one of the better paying companies, and that's why I'm staying. You know, and I think that's why a lot of guys who lease with Prime, who've been here for a while, are staying with Prime, because it's the what if factor. You know what I mean? It's what if I gross 6,000 this week, or what if I get back to grossing 7,000, or what if the market picks up and I can start grossing, 15,000, 17,000 a week with my student. It's the what if factor. And that's kind of the reason why I'm staying with Prime, because it is the what if factor. Because when things turn around, I want to get back to that $7,000 a week or $8,000 a week. I'm hoping to get back to that. I'm going to be honest with you, it's hard. It is. It's hard. Wading through the water. Like I said, my revenues have been low. If I make gross $3,500 a week, my paycheck is probably $1,000 or $1,300, because you gotta remember I gotta pay for fuel, and I still have my own costs outside of this. So right now trucking it's just bad. It just sucks. The market's terrible. And I guess it's a direct reflection of the economy. Like I said, during Obama's administration, during Trump's administration, the market was great. So that's, how many years is that? See, Obama had 2 terms and Trump had 4 years. So what's that? 12 years. So 12 years of a bull market. Okay. And then now we're in the bear market with Biden. And a lot of people argue, well, the president doesn't really affect the economy and this and that, but I'm just using those presidents as the timeline that people at Prime might have made some serious money with. You know what I mean? Because during Obama's administration, trucking was at a boom. During Trump's administration, trucking was a boom too, even with COVID. Okay, refrigerator freight was a boom. Now it's not, and now we have a situation where it's just bad. A lot of truckers are going through hard times. So I just thought I'd answer those questions, and I hope it helped you out, whoever asked those questions. I don't count other guys' pockets, but I can only give an assumption of what I think is going on. And like I said, those 2 truckers I mentioned on YouTube, yeah, they probably did make that kind of money, but it's not consistent like it used to be. Okay. There was one time, here, I give you guys a couple examples. Oh, also more examples of, what I think A-Fleet is now at Prime. I think A-Fleet is the cleanup fleet. And the reason I say that is, Prime drivers do reject a lot of loads. Okay. Prime, Wilson, BLC, they all reject a lot of loads. So, even though Prime calls it the A fleet, I really think it's more of the E fleet. Okay. Because you got, Prime company drivers, Prime lease, Wilson company drivers, Wilson lease, and BLC, which is the other carrier that Prime works with. Okay. And I think that Prime uses A fleet so they don't have to throw that load out to the free market and lose their 20% that they get. If you remember a while ago, I made a video talking about what Prime makes yearly, and that 28% and that 20% they get regardless. That's a lot of money. That averages out to billions of dollars a year for Prime, and they don't want to lose one bit of that. So I think that's why they have an A fleet, so that when you drivers reject loads, the A fleet gets them. Okay. And the reason I say that is I had a load, right? Now I've been pulling out my fleet manager strings for a while. Like, come on, man, keep me high revenue. Keep me high revenue. Okay. The same spiel. But they gave me a load the other week from Arkansas to New York. That load paid like $4,200. But I noticed that when he gave it to me, he sent it to the Qualcomm, he called me immediately. And I know why he did. He called me immediately to make sure I wanted to take the load and accept it immediately, because he shopped that load around to other drivers, and other drivers rejected it. People probably from lease side of Prime rejected it. People probably from Prime's Wilson lease side rejected it, and BLC probably rejected it. And do you know why they did? Because what happened last week or the week before, there was a blizzard going into the Northeast. They were expecting 7 to 8 inches of snow. And I just taken the load. You know what I mean? Because I was like, you know what? I'm from the Northeast. I'll just have to work it out. Luckily, I got up there and was able to work it out. But do you understand what I'm saying? You know, they shop the loads around, and it seems like I get the scraps. I don't get prime choice. And, you know, what makes me believe that is, you know, just the quality of loads. Do you know what I mean? Like, I haven't seen any real good quality of loads. So, you know, it's just been tough. So, you know, right now, I'm just going to hang on and try to make it work to the best of the ability. But, I mean, like I said, I am looking at some other options. I don't know if I want to exercise those options or not. You know, I like working for Prime, but at the end of the day, it's about money. Okay, I want to be doing this while I'm healthy enough and young enough to make a lot of money so I can put stuff away in my nest egg. You know, there was a time, like I said, that I used to be able to put $1,000 away a week, you know, into my investments or into my nest egg. There was, you know, my revenues used to be excellent. I used to, you know, bring home between $2,500 and up. So, you know, naturally every week I put $1,000 away, you know, and stuff it. Now that's just not the case. Now I'm just surviving. So we will see. But anyway, guys, this video probably long enough. Like, subscribe, comment, and if I touch some of your questions, please let me know. Okay? Peace.